Hello, Paul Scheele.
Hello, Pete Bissonette. Good to be with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. And welcome everyone to the final day of the Paraliminal Challenge, and we're glad that you're with us. Hey, Paul, we've had a wonderful week, as we always do, with thousands of people listening to Paraliminals and countless leaving messages sharing their experiences. It's been very cool.
Well, I think I should probably say, this is Dr. Paul Scheele on MINDTRX. But congratulations, really, to everyone. Thanks for participating. This is really a great way to get inspiration and to level up what it is that you're intending to create in your life. And everyone that you've had, Pete, as a presenter with you, so good. The messages are so inspiring. And wow, Jack's yesterday, if anybody didn't hear that, they've got to. It's really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. And those recordings will remain available, even though the challenge ends on Friday. The recordings in the MINDTRX app will be there for about another week, and then on that the online page, the recordings of the different sessions will be there. So you'll want to come in if you missed them, go in and listen to them, and re-listen to your favorite ones, because they all approached what we're doing here from slightly different perspectives, and their contributions I thought were really cool. I was really happy.
Yeah, and I think that also listening to something multiple times is very helpful too, because your mind might go off on a particular statement that a presenter makes. And meanwhile, although your inner mind's getting it, your conscious mind might miss it. And if you listen to it again, you'll hear things you'll swear were never spoken when it was first recorded. So yeah.
Yeah, another good thing by doing the recordings is that you have the pause button. So you can always pause and rewind. What did it just say? What did she say? And, then you can take it with you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I notice when I'm listening to a live broadcast, even on TV or radio. I want where's the pause button to go back? I want to hear that again.
Yeah, I've done that many times. Yep. So, Paul, I'm going to give you the name of a paraliminal. And let's play a little game here. You briefly say what it's about, and they say something amazing about the paraliminal or what you can do with it, or maybe something you haven't thought about. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be as amazing as I possibly can.
Just what's fascinating, take it from a different perspective. First one, automatic pilot.
This is such a cool one, because one of the things that what is common knowledge about pros in the downhill skiers or whatever it might be, big wave surfers, what they know is that the biggest problem is when a thought occurs to them in the middle of their performance. It's a complete destroyer. So what we want to be able to do is we want to know what it is, we want to imagine it, build it in, and then we want to be able to let go and be present. It's called flow. And if there is any paraliminal that could ever produce a state of flow for an individual, whatever they're doing, whatever their performance, automatic pilot is it. Superb.
Excellent. Okay, creativity supercharger.
Well, creativity is something that I taught. It was in the course catalog at Honeywell for a couple of years, and it's something very important that all of us don't understand, which is creativity isn't just right brain creative thinking. It's an amazing balance between the hemispheres of the brain. The most creative people that we know of are icons of creativity. We're also very good rational thinkers, as well as really out of the box thinking. And Dr. David Perkins, wrote a book called The Mind's Best Work. And based on the principles that I taught, based on the research and how the brain works, Creativity Supercharger unleashes your brain's ability to solve problems, to see things from new perspectives, and get those creative insights that will take us to that next level.
Excellent. Instantaneous personal magnetism.
Oh, this one is so cool. That book by that title was from the early 1900s. My wife found it in an estate sale, and she brought it to me. She said, "Paul, I found a cool book on mind stuff. I know you collect old cool books on mind stuff." I went, "Oh, this is so great." And so it's called Edmund of Shaftesbury method that allows you to take out those negative behaviors that leak your true vital energy and allow you to show up very focused, powerful. So if you could think about what is the difference between someone who's highly charismatic and someone who's kind of a wallflower, what's the difference that makes a difference? And what we work with is what they referred to in that book as the engine of vitality, the breath. It's in the eyes, it's in how you show up. It's such a cool process. All in one. It's the longest title of any paraliminal we have, too.
Which has created some issues for us, but that's another story. So there was a woman who wrote in last month about her experience with instantaneous personal magnetism, because she said she's really a timid person and shy. And when she goes out, it's like she's invisible. Nobody ever talks to her, even acknowledges her existence. So she listened to the instantaneous personal magnetism and then went grocery shopping. And she said everybody was talking with her.
It's so cool. Yeah, all of a sudden you become the center of everybody that you want to speak to is right there listening. It's so powerful.
Yeah. Intuition amplifier.
Oh, love that. So what you don't know about intuition, perhaps, is that it's knowledge that you've picked up, but you weren't aware of the fact that you picked it up. So the conscious mind receives only about 70 bits of information per second of our sensory perceptions, but our sensory perceptions actually pick up 12 million bits of information per second. So what a gap, right? 12 million, 70. So what's the difference? Essentially, there's a processor within us that says, oh, you only need this. Oh, you only need that. Meanwhile, you've taken in a tremendous amount of information and it's there within you. Literally, all of it's recorded. So intuition amplifier allows you to bring to the surface of your conscious awareness that information you process that you know that now can show up as an intuitive insight, an image, a voice, a gut feeling that will guide you to the creation of the life you want to live. Really powerful process.
Excellent. New behavior generator.
Oh, this is the one that you and I said from the very beginning. This is a self-improvement course in one, well, we said cassette tape back then, but you get the idea. And on one side, it takes a look at those areas of your life where you know you want to do something, you could do something, and for whatever reason, you're not doing it, or you're doing something else that's preventing you from getting you where you want to go. And so session A is about reframing. It's about looking at this in a different way. What was the positive intent of the behavior I engage in? How could I do that in new and creative ways that will support me in getting to my goal? And then the second side, the second session on this paraliminal is about something called the new behavior generator protocol, which is modeling the expertise of someone. If you ever watch something, even on a movie, do something which is really good that you want to be able to do, you have a complete recording of everything that went into their ability to perform it. And so through a very simple sequence of 3 steps, you're actually able to do what every human being begins learning immediately, which is model those people in your environment who are doing what you want to be able to do. That's how we learned our language. That's how we learned how to walk. We did that by modeling people who could speak and people who could walk. And so this paraliminal, those 2 sessions in this paraliminal, will get you to any new behavior you want to be able to have as an automatic part of your behavioral repertoire. And in just a few minutes, too. It's so cool.
I think it's probably the best of all the paraliminals that we have, because you can do so many things with it. And if you remember when we first started doing the paraliminals, or when we were creating this one, the idea was what paraliminal, or what program could we spend the rest of our lives with, not knowing would ever do anything beyond the new behavior generator, because that was the first of the paraliminals. And so it really was an amazing, still is an amazing thing. And the stories that we get from that, Paul, they seem to be the most varied and the most interesting and probably some of the most profound stories. And it's all about so many of them are about their performance in something. Like if you're tennis players or pickleball players or golf players, something like that, just model somebody. You see golf all the time on Saturday on TV. Watch it and then use the new behavior generator to take on those behaviors. And you can do just generally to improve yourself as a golfer, or go into each specific aspect of the game or aspect of the movement, or the performance, and listen to it once for each of them, and you will see that you have had an increase. And friends, if you have a golfing partner, will say that you took golf lessons. We've heard that so many times.
Yes, you're cheating. You did something while I wasn't watching. Well, and this also is the very essence, Pete, of an important message that I have taught all the years that you and I have been together. It's this idea that the purpose of education or learning is the liberation of human genius. And because we all have built-in accelerated learners, we all are born genius learners, this Paraliminal releases our ability to apply that to anything we want to acquire. So it's really a powerful, powerful tool. And it seems to me, Pete, that over the years, as we've monitored what was the best-selling CD or the best-selling cassette, it was always that one topped the charts.
Yeah, it really is a phenomenal program to use. And it's this type of thing, you can study, you can read all the information about it, watch the coaching videos that we have with you on the new behavior generator, because you can use it in so many different ways. If there's something that you'd like to improve in your life, you can use the new behavior generator for it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Paul, next one, perfect health.
Ooh, love this. Perfect health is based on a principle that Paul Pearsall wrote about in a book called Super Immunity. And what he said is there's areas in our body that appear hot or they appear cold. In Chen Yi Lin's work in Spring Forest Qigong, we know if there's a blockage in any energy pathway, there's going to be two problems. One is downstream of that because there's not going to be enough energy, and the other is upstream because there's too much energy. And what we do is we remove that blockage and let things flow. Well, Paul Pearsall in Super Immunity presented this idea way, way, way back, right when the whole concept of the immune system became public awareness, it became public knowledge. And it's the idea that there are areas in our lives, in our bodies, that are hot and cold. So what this does is it finds those areas that are cold and warms them up to warm or cool. So it takes the cold areas, warms them up to cool, takes the hot areas and cools them down to warm, so that the body can naturally balance itself. We can't control all of the ways the physiology heals itself, but we can assist it by bringing our consciousness, bringing our emotions, bringing our imagery, bringing our affirmative statements and positive support to those changes that we want to have occur. And boy, have we gotten stories from perfect health over the years. I remember a woman coming up to me when I was speaking in England one time at a photo reading conference. She said, waited for me at the end of the program, said, I just want to introduce myself and thank you for saving my life. I went, do I know you? And she said, no, you don't. But when I was going through my journey with cancer, I listened to Perfect Health every single day. And I do believe that that's what gave me the survivability and now the remission. It's been 10 years. And it's such a cool thing to recognize the body is the healer. What we need is to send the right messages so that the body can heal itself.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
Seeing the unseen.
Ooh, this is it's Sherlock Holmes basically inspired this. It's the idea that Sherlock had the capacity to notice small distinctions in his environment that no other detective, no other police officer, nobody else could ever seem to notice. And basically the reason that we can is because we put our attention onto sorting for what is it that's going to allow us to take that next step. What is it that I'm not seeing? What is the question I'm not asking? And what's the ideal answer to it? What is the next step that I might be able to take? And your non-conscious mind, so vast, it's got a database 10 billion to 1 what you carry around consciously. So you do have an interior genius within you who does see it all. Now we need to bring that into our conscious awareness. This paraliminal helps you do it for solving problems, for recognizing how to execute on a plan that you want to accomplish, for coming up with ideas that are going to help you break through to that next level.
Excellent. Okay, so Paul, we heard from someone overnight who said, others are getting so much benefit from the paraliminals this week, but I can't say I've noticed anything. What am I doing wrong?
Ooh. Then notice the question. I love that. This is what Jack Canfield talks about as the wrong question to be asking, right? He suggests to us that we ask a better feeling question. So instead of what am I doing wrong, what else might I do to notice the amazing benefits that are actually occurring for me? Now, understand that all of us have a history of learning. And some of us in our early days were raised by critical parents or critical educators, or we were punished for being stupid or unable to do something that everybody else could do. And what's wrong with you? And how come you can't do that? Now, oftentimes, if those kinds of messages, even humiliation from friends at school, like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you do it? Oh, and I have a grandson, and he was really sad one day when my wife picked him up from school, and she said, sweetheart, what's going on? Somebody called me stupid today. Oh, kids can be really cruel, but what happens for some folks is that lands and that sticks. So we're always kind of fighting that message. How come everybody else can do this, but I can't? Everybody else, I can see them. And then there's all this comparison that happens. So we got to come back to an important concept. We're always doing the best our current awareness permits. So if you haven't gotten a result that you're really interested in, stay in the inquiry, stay in the hunt. Don't worry about how others are getting it. You might be reprogramming very deep issues. And in that reprogramming, for your conscious mind, there's nothing involved. It's super easy. But at an inner level, you're really recognizing those negative messages of the past no longer apply to you. And you can take your life from here to achieve what you desire. Now, I've set goals, and Pete, I'm sure you've had the experience as well. You set a goal and you can visualize it and imagine it so clearly. How come it's not here already, right? And well, now 18 months have gone by, now 2 years have gone by, and it's still not here. But you keep the faith and you know it's going to come. 2.5 years, boop, there it is. Ah, I wonder why it didn't come earlier, but there it is. Stay in the hunt. Be good to yourself.
Excellent. Paul, I have a few more questions for you, but first, let's remember that the Paraliminal Challenge ends on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Central, which means now is the time to upgrade to receive the Ultimate You library of Paraliminals. And you can get them as CDs that will ship to your home, or as MP3s that you can listen to online or download to your computer device. And then you can also get them in the MINDTRX app. Your choice. Simply make your choice now so that you have ongoing use of Paraliminals going forward. Now, here's the scoop. If you want to have a transformation in life, you have to do the work. To expect to change by doing the same thing over and over again without putting in effort or making any adjustments, it's unrealistic. You have to engage in the process of self-improvement with the dedication, perseverance, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. And that's what upgrading and using the Paraliminals can do to help you right now. So to make it easier, you just have to remember what Jack Canfield did yesterday. He gave you a powerful incentive to upgrade by offering to pay your enrollment in his virtual 3-day Breakthrough to Success program. The regular tuition is $297, and he's giving this gift because he wants to support you in getting the Paraliminals. It should be a no-brainer because 3 days with Jack added to the Paraliminals will help with your breakthrough. The dates are April 12th, 13th, and 14th, so it's coming up. He unconditionally loves the Paraliminals, and he wants everybody to be using them, so he gave us the gift, and yay, Jack. So upgrade today, and then in the next week, we'll send you your free ticket, and you can read more about it in today's reminder email. Just get yourself upgraded today.
You know, and I really want to just do a shout out to Jack. I took his 5-day Breakthrough to Success program when it was live in a big ballroom with about 450 other people. One evening, I gave a talk on learning, and it brought down the house. We had a blast. Jack, of course, consummate learner, sitting in the front row,
With his
taking notes.
Yeah.
But we just had so much fun, and his programs are amazing. A no-brainer, because you get the Paraliminals as a result of attending that. You get a free enrollment to his program. It's spectacular. So amazing. Please.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah, so you don't get
advantage
the
of
free
offer.
Paraliminals by going to Breakthrough to Success.
No.
You get the Paraliminals and you get the complimentary Breakthrough to Success.
Yes. But that's what I
Okay.
mean. You get the Paraliminals and that's great.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, Paul, some more questions. So several
Good.
listeners have been using the Paraliminal Challenge to be clear on their life purpose. The question is, how do you know when you're living on purpose, and how do you use Paraliminals to live on purpose?
Yeah, well, so purpose is a cool thing. Again, something that I refer to Jack's program with as Effortless Success, because he does a really nice job of taking a look and really examining, kind of looking at the breadcrumbs. Life leaves clues for us, and living on purpose, or knowing what your purpose is, very often is a recognition of this is the thing that lights you up the most, that there is something written on our heart and mind that lets us know. And it's a process of discovery. I don't think people decide, this is going to be my life purpose. I think it's something that we come to realize. So very often, and this might sound a little bit odd, Pete, but over the years, I had opportunities that would present themselves to me. And as business people who are entrepreneurs, we're opportunistic. I mean, we want to take opportunities when they come and make the most of it. And I could see this was going to take a big shift in the direction that I thought we were headed. And so I would close my eyes and I would ask, is this decision to do this project on purpose? And very clearly, yes, it's on purpose. And then I'd throw in the question, so what's my purpose? Silence. It's like, well, where is all this going? Silence. So, it's just a matter of just knowing, yes, the door is open here, walk through it. The door is open here, walk through it. And Paraliminals always help us get over that next threshold. So here's an opportunity. Here's something. It looks bigger than you think you're up to. Not a problem. Here's the opportunity. Here's the challenge. Listen to a Paraliminal that will help lift you over that internal barrier to your expansion. And let's face it, life, the universe, is expansion. And if we're not expanding with it, if we're not growing with it, we're stagnating, we're backing off. We are not living into the true expression of our life's purpose. So Paraliminals are right there to help.
Perfect. Okay, Paul, Milford Road. My goal is to change my life and to start taking 100% responsibility for life and stop playing the victim because of what happened in the past, and I can't undo it. So, Paul, what series of Paraliminals?
Well, this is exactly to the point I was talking about before. The self-esteem supercharger is giving this concept, we can only do the best our current awareness permits. And so when we look back at decisions that we made or behaviors we engaged in that we feel regret about, or that we think, I should have known better, you couldn't have. To the point that he's making, this is a beautiful recognition that, hey, the past is past. Now, how do I want to live my life? How do I want to project my energy forward from here? I'll take the learning, but I'll leave the emotion behind. And one of the really powerful paraliminals to help in that is called letting go, that we did with Hale Dwoskin, something called the triple welcoming. So if the thought comes in, oh, I still feel regret about that, welcome it, let it go. It's a really, really good paraliminal. Another one very helpful is called self-love, where you take your future self and you take your past self and you take your present self and you get the three of you together, and it's so powerful. I mean, I wrote it, I recorded it, I thought it was really good, but when I heard it the first time, Pete, I wept. It was so gorgeous. It's such an act of loving kindness toward yourself. And what we know, research shows, the most powerful motivating force in our lives isn't beating ourselves up because we did badly. It's self-compassion. So self-love is really good. Another one is to look at the trajectory of your life, and finding yourself is the great paraliminal. Back to your earlier question, Pete, about how do you find purpose? Finding yourself is a great paraliminal for this. Another one, self-actualization. And really, self-actualization is the fifth in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And there was actually another one beyond that that he was working on at the time of his death. And it's called self-transcendence. So when we can transcend the limits that we have lived under up until now and transcend to who we really have always meant to be in this lifetime, this paraliminal is really good, self-actualization. And the final one is self-discipline, which is, now that you know what it is you want to do, here's how you can live it every single day. Does that help?
Excellent, thank you. And thank you that we have a recording of this session so everybody can go back and do the recordings, watch it again, and push pause and take notes. So, perfect. Hey, Paul Kendra wrote, I'm listening to the Self-Esteem Supercharger and active listening this morning for two important meetings. The last time I listened to these, I closed a $100,000 order with a new client. What's the lesson here, Paul?
Well, the idea of being able to show up wholeheartedly, to be able to express what it is that are your true values. When people see you lit up and loving yourself and representing a product or service, people often will say, I don't know what she's got going, but I want what she has. And that's really an important part, is you are sold yourself. That's what Zig Ziglar used to talk about. The word enthusiasm, which means the God within, ends in IASM. I am sold myself. So when you're sold on yourself and you're sold on your product and you represent, you make a presentation, big, big changes for the better can take place.
Excellent. Okay, so Paul, here's a fun story. It's a little long one, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's Wendy from Australia. She said, I listened to the Self-Esteem Supercharger. I chose it to help release my resistance to receiving, which I struggled with. And I wanted to boost my feelings of deserving and receiving. The very next day, I had the opportunity to receive, which I had no hesitation to jump at. You see, I had booked a flight home and accidentally chose an airport hundreds of miles away from my home instead of the one I lived nearby and where my car was parked at waiting for my return. So I decided to think of it as a lesson in reading the fine print. Both airports were listed as in Melbourne, Australia. It was only the fine print that really mentioned the two different airports. As I was sitting waiting for the flight, I was telling myself traveling hundreds of miles of public transportation to get from where I would need to be to would be an adventure. Then an announcement was made saying that my flight would be delayed. The plane had technical issues and would be substituted with a smaller plane. Then they asked for one person to volunteer to fly to her other city, the place that she was supposed to have been. She said she leapt to receive the offering, and when I explained I had purchased the wrong ticket and I had prayed for a miracle, the staff member then gave me a flight voucher for another future flight. So more opportunities to practice receiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm now listening to the Prosperity Paraliminal.
That's so great. What a fabulous story. And this is the idea of optimism and positive thinking and not beating yourself up for a simple mistake. You take it as this didn't happen to me, it happened for me. This is lifting me up to a new possibility. And then the universe floods in and says, bingo, 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 here's another prize for you to recognize
exactly.
that's how things work. So, yay.
Yeah. And that's the reason to keep using the Paraliminals and
Yes.
day after day, week after week.
Because it's so easy to go into awfulizing when any one small thing goes wrong. And stop it. Go
And
stay positive.
it's so easy to listen to Paraliminal, 20 minutes.
And what a complete refresh, reset it gives you. It's perfect.
Okay, Paul, Natalie wrote, I listened to Sleep Tracks again, as well as the Self-Love Paraliminal. I'm feeling calm and peaceful, and a sense that life is on an upward trajectory. And Shirley wrote, after listening to one of the Sleep Paraliminals, I slept wonderfully, and I'm not stressed, even though I'm late. Paul, why is listening to the Sleep Tracks so powerful?
Well, remember I mentioned earlier in our session this idea that the non-conscious mind has a database 10 billion to 1 more vast than your conscious mind. Well, how do you access that non-conscious mind? Sleeping is one of the places where we are in a direct conversation with the non-conscious mind. Jack talked about this yesterday, that what you listen to before you go to sleep is refreshing. It's revitalized. That's why you shouldn't watch, he said, the 11 o'clock news. But that idea is we want to be able to give positive messages to the inner mind. It has a capacity to process it, even while you're sleeping. And there are natural brainwave cycles that we go through. And at the peak of those cycles, what's called the alpha rhythm is where we're really picking up that deep work that's happening. So even if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're having trouble get back to sleep, put the sleep track on. And what that's going to do is give you a lot of new energy to accomplish what it is you want for the following day. Plus, it keeps you out of the mindset of, oh no, I woke up, I'm going to be miserable tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, stop, cancel all that and get the positive messages going in.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so let's get to announcing the winner of the $100 gift certificate.
Yes.
Paul, you have the honor.
Thank you very much. Today's winner is Asesh Bamala from Nepal. I had somebody at my dorm from Nepal, and I've been to that area of the world. What a wonderful place. In fact, my son did a first ascent in Nepal with an international climbing team. What an honor to be able to give to Asesh this gift. Thank you for participating.
Okay, so Ashesh, please send an email to customerservice@learningstrategies.com and we'll get you set up. That's customerservice@learningstrategies.com. So, Paul, I got to tell you, every morning I tally up how many responses we've had, and then I use a random number generator from the internet to select the winner. And then I count through the responses to find the winner. It's a little tedious process, but it's fun. Now, every other time that we've had a winner, they've shared their amazing experiences, and I've enjoyed reading them. But all how do you pronounce it? Asesh wrote was, I hope to win. You gotta love it. So I wonder if she was listening to Living Law of Attraction, right? So now, as we wrap up our conversation, because it's time, please upgrade to the Ultimate U Library Paraliminals if you haven't already. There's a link in the email we sent to you. Please use that link, and if you change your mind, you'll be able to get a refund. There's a 30-day satisfaction guarantee when you use the links in the email. So you have nothing to lose. And remember, if you upgrade this week, we'll send you the tickets to Jack's Breakthrough to Success virtual event coming up in a few weeks. And that's going to be good. Paul did the 5-day, I've done the 3-day, and it really is super powerful. So Paul, what's your final words that you'd like to say to folks?
Well, I just want to remind that we have genius within us. We have a mind that is infinitely capable of facilitating the accomplishment of anything we set our mind upon. 50 years in personal development work, I have seen miracle after miracle after miracle. Paraliminal technologies are 20 minutes out of your day to connect you in, to actually plug you in to the vast power of this magnificent universe that we live in, so that you can live the life of your dreams, you can live the life of your true purpose, so that you can create the world that you want to live in. Use Paraliminals, love it. This is Dr. Paul Scheele for MINDTRX. Great to be with you, Pete.
Okay, thank you, Paul. We really appreciate you spending your time with us this morning and sharing all of your wisdom with that. And remember, everyone, upgrade. The links are in your email. And thank you for being here all week. We very much appreciate it. Have fun. Bye.